What is up, fantasy endgame community? It's Pierre. I'm here with you tonight. Chris is out busy burning his Justin Jefferson jerseys. As the season comes to an end, it's just kind of a yearly ritual we do. All the players on our dead to us list. No, just kidding. Preoccupied. He'll be back probably tomorrow. So here we go. Let's talk about week 16. You believe it or not, here we are towards the very end, week 15 over, mercifully for some of us after whatever you want to call last night. Didn't expect the Dolphins to exactly make the playoffs at any point this season, and didn't expect that they still had a chance realistically. It's kind of like a mercy killing, just glad it's over, get it done with, let's move on to next season. But the season is not over yet, so here's the thing, I've got to talk Dolphins because they still have some players that are fantasy relevant, at least one. It's Devon Achane, and you still should start him despite last night where he absolutely should have shredded that injured Steelers D-line. They should have actually scored some points before the fourth quarter. Don't know what happened there. So now there's talk. And again, this is not just me. This is not just my circle. Not, the guys I follow, the Dolphins beat writers, which I do. But there's some discussion now across the national media because some of those local beat reporters are kind of banging the drum that maybe it's time to bench Tua. So I'm curious. Actually, I kind of know. I think I know what you guys are going to say. I mean, why would anybody care if Tua is still starting? And what has he done to really show that he deserves to still be starting? But, Mike McDaniel, he's been defending Tua. He's the one who got him extended, that contract. They kind of were like a package deal. McDaniel, at the coach and Tua's quarterback, and they were rolling together. And this year, it's all kind of falling apart. So you figure that McDaniel would continue to stand by his guy, but he didn't do that today in press conference. I mean, he was talking like what he said, the usual coach speak. They're going to explore all options. Everything is on the table. We need better quarterback play. Like, yeah, no kidding. He didn't say, though, he was benching him, and he didn't say if he did, who would get the start because, they have rookie Quinn Ewers from UT, who put up big numbers in college at some points, but also was a very late draft pick and hasn't shown a whole lot. But then also there's Zach Wilson. Remember Zach Wilson? Yeah, so Zach Wilson is there for the Dolphins. He's their backup QB. Will he get a shot? Who knows? As of right now, it's still very much up in the air. So as far as week 16 goes, yes, we might have some sort of a quarterback controversy for the Dolphins as of right now. I can't really imagine. I can't see McDaniel benching Tua just because, it wasn't like, again, it's all relative. I say it wasn't that bad. It wasn't good, right? Obviously, they didn't score. They didn't do anything, throughout that game until the fourth quarter. It was all garbage time. But again, when I say that bad, he didn't have like a Max Brosmer game. Like, he didn't throw 4 interceptions. He wasn't just taking sacks left and right. He wasn't the only problem. It definitely was a problem, though. So it's like, yeah, he's not the only problem there. Look, honestly, he actually wasn't that bad. 22 of 28, only 1 interception. So again, he wasn't bad statistically. It's just they didn't do enough. There wasn't enough positive momentum on offense. Like, is Zach Wilson really the answer? Again, I have doubts. And then Quinn Ewers, what McDaniel says is like, well, it's not going to be, we're not going to use games as like a trial practice, a trial run, which makes sense, right? I mean, you're not just going to say, well, now that we're 1 game out of the playoff race and we're eliminated, we're just going to try out, whoever at quarterback. I get that. It makes sense. So I bet it's probably going to still be Tua next week. But, this only matters if, like, are you considering starting Jalen Waddle still after doing a whole lot of nothing last week? Only because it's the Bengals. I would say that, like, because the Bengals. What about Darren Waller? Yeah, that's nice when absolutely nobody was interested in Darren Waller or started him. I'm really curious to see what his start percentage was on either Sleeper or Yahoo, probably in the single digits. So, of course, in the garbage time, a fourth quarter, he put up a huge game, 2 touchdowns. Then he gets the Bengals. So here come the Darren Waller questions. Looking forward to that. That'll be great, just like Isaiah Likely last week. So we'll see. Keep an eye on that situation. The other news for today, not a big one, but Bam, no more Bam. He's done. That injury from very first play of last week he got carted off. It was an ankle injury, and I mean, sure enough, getting carted off is usually not a good sign. But yeah, he's done. He was put on season-ending IR. So no more Bam, which means Michael Carter looking like a even stronger pickup. Not that there's that much season left, but still, Michael Carter is going to get all the run here, and he'll catch some passes. So don't go crazy. You know, he's still just flex. But Michael Carter, definitely somebody you might want to add into your waiver run if you're doing that tonight. Waivers run for a lot of you either Tuesday or Wednesday. So keep Michael Carter in mind. He was already on the video. Of course, he was already on the list. But this just solidifies the fact we know, yes, he's going to be the guy because Bam is officially done this week and next week. The one that we're most interested in, though, we don't know yet. Again, it's only Tuesday. We haven't had practice yet. But is Marvin Harrison going to come back? Don't know. Haven't heard anything concrete as of yet. There's speculation. And again, you think with a guy that has been out a couple of weeks, like if it was serious enough, they would have put him on IR. They didn't. That doesn't mean that he's coming back this week or even next week. He may not, but there's a possibility. And the same thing with Drake London. They're saying that they're hopeful he will play. Being hopeful doesn't actually mean he's going to play, because you can be hopeful a lot of things. But at the same time, there's a chance here. We thought there was a chance last week, and yeah, I guess there's still a chance, but we'll see. I know everyone's probably at this point just telling Marvin Harrison it's okay, we're good, you don't have to come back. Let's let Michael Wilson feast. Michael Wilson has been amazing. I mean, let's put it out there. Right now he's a league winner. What he's done, and of course, in week 15 last week, he didn't have a huge game because it was the Texans. But he was still good enough. He was definitely startable. And just to get you there for the previous couple of weeks, I mean, if Harrison is out this week, which again, a lot of you really hope he is, he could absolutely go off against the Falcons. So let's keep an eye on that. But we're going to get injury updates, starting tomorrow. And then we'll see what happens from there. We're only 2 days away from the start of week 16 already. It's crazy. But, yeah, there's always something new in the NFL. So we're going to answer your questions as usual. And I did leave a couple of questions here that I want to share with you guys, because I know if you're on here on a Tuesday ahead of week 16, you're probably still in the playoffs, which is good. Some of you are not, because we can't all win every week. And either that or you're just a loyal in-game viewer, and I know a lot of you out there are, so we appreciate you. So you already know the spiel about underdog. I'll save you that, but I actually want to go over some of these draft playing questions, because I think they're going to be helpful for everyone. So bear with me before we start getting to your comments and all that. So let's put this up real quick. Of course, if there happens to be any new viewers here, anybody who hasn't heard of Draft Lane yet, we have an app. That's right, Fantasy Endgame. We have an app called Draft Lane. So sign up if you haven't yet. It's a free download from the App Store or the Play Store. And it looks kind of like this. So by the way, just in case you don't know, use code Endgame in the promo code section here from the settings wheel. Once you're signed in, you get 10 free points to ask your questions. So I saved these couple on purpose because I think this would be good for the community. Let's start with Ric Flair. All right. I can't do the thing. Don't ask. I'm not even going to try to do the woohoo thing. All right. Should I start Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert? Now, the QB starts it has not come out yet because it's only Tuesday, right? Running back first. And then we'll get the QBs tomorrow. We already did this, but the question is, okay, Justin Herbert, who has just been okay, not great for fantasy. He's slowly looking a little better after the hand injury, but he gets the Cowboys this week. We know how that goes, right? That defense plus the type of high-scoring games they always get into. So Justin Herbert, or the guy that you would just think would be automatically the answer, which is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson not been great lately, even against the Bengals. Yes, the lowly Bengals and that defense, the second time now in the last 3 weeks facing the Bengals, and the second time he has not done a lot for fantasy. It was better this week, but only 150 yards passing. He had those 2 touchdowns, and then he only ran, just barely 2 for 26. But I'm going to take that again with a little grain of salt here. A couple of weeks ago when they played, again, Lamar still clearly wasn't 100%, right? He still wasn't running. And they're like, well, he didn't run this week. But they just didn't need to. They didn't do anything. But, I mean, Cincinnati literally didn't score. They didn't need to do a whole lot here, which is also why Derrick Henry only got 11 carries. We're giving Keaton Mitchell the ball. You saw Rasheen Ali get a touchdown, a couple of carries here. I mean, it's just how the game went. So they're going to need Lamar a little bit more this week. It's at home. The Patriots clearly not a shutdown defense. A little bit overrated from early in the season, again, just a little bit. And so I'm going to have to go with Lamar here because I think Justin Herbert is still, the ceiling just isn't as high. The matchup is great. I understand, but I'm not scared by Lamar's matchup, and I'm not that encouraged by Herbert's matchup enough to think he's going to have a huge game. I just don't think this offense is going to want to just win with a passing game like they were doing that early in the season. It has changed. So I'm going to tell this user I'm going to tell Ric Flair, going to go with Lamar because I believe he has a higher ceiling. They will need him this week. And Herbert still isn't throwing the ball a ton. That's a close call, though, honestly. I can see how obviously it could go either way. Now, I did also intentionally save one of these. I believe it was this one. Yeah, the waiver wire one. Okay. So this is for everyone. I want to make sure that I keep this out there because we get a lot of questions this time of year, and you're still in the playoffs, of course. This is how you have to think. So the question here is, I want to pick up either Saints or Bills for Week 16, right? Makes sense. Saints get the Jets, potentially Brady Cook again, or the Bills, who fantasy-wise just kind of middle of the road, or they're not a dominant defense, but get the Browns. You saw exactly what the Browns offense looked like last week. So very smart, but don't want to drop the Jags, which I like that because, again, the Jags, you don't want to start the Jags this week. They're at Denver, right, on the road. So not a good spot for them, but you do want the Jags for Week 17. So this is why I'm saying don't want to drop the Jags looking ahead. I had the Jags, I think, was it number 2 on my top 10 defense list for the rest of the playoffs because they get the Colts next week and Phillip Rivers. So who do I sacrifice or just don't do it? So this is the key question here. Second defense. Normally, I would never, ever advocate for having a second defense, but this is the playoffs. All right, it's different. Next week, yes, look ahead to next week because you get one more shot and that's it. And if you're not going to play a guy this week or next week, then what's the point, right? So my reaction here when I saw this roster was you don't need Jordan Mason. You don't need Jordan Mason because, let's face it, you're already starting Aaron Jones. If in this game Aaron Jones goes down, are you really starting Jordan Mason in your championship next week? I mean, sure, he might get all the run because, obviously if Aaron Jones hypothetically is out, it's just Jordan Mason. You get the Lions. It's not a great spot. And again, let's face it, Jordan Mason, not a guy who catches a ton of passes. It's not exactly the most dynamic offense. Am I starting Jordan Mason over any of these other options? Probably not. So let's just sacrifice him. And in fact, I was going to suggest to this user, we got Drake London, who may come back. We got Christian Watson, who may play. Actually sounds like Watson might be okay. Let's hope. So if that's the case, again, I'm not starting Jordan Mason here. So I'm going to say go for it. Good idea to hold on to Jags for next week. You can sacrifice, his words, Mason because he won't start for you. If Watson is good to go, play him this week. I'm going to say, I'll just say a flex. Almost was going to say against Ladd, but Ladd does get the Cowboys. Okay. And then I did notice also I looked at this earlier, saw Colby Parkinson on waivers. Grab him over Johnson. Okay. So again, you got to play for the here and the now. I've got another question. I'll do that later because I don't want to take up the whole time with this. But again, you've got to just really shrink your thinking here. We always, throughout the entire season, we think long term, big picture, right? It's why you don't drop a guy, who you might want to get back and use, like all of you who may have dropped Mike Evans. You really wish you had Mike Evans back if you weren't able to get him back now, right? And it's week 15 and week 16. You wish you had Mike Evans. And so whoever you picked up, hopefully it was worth it instead. And of course, we never know with injuries, but just saying, you always say think long-term. There is no more long-term. It's this week and next week. Hopefully that's it for your fantasy season. Hopefully you don't play in week 18. But again, just it's the way of thinking that, you have to really have that mindset of what's going to help me. And right now it's this week. And if you don't make it past this week, next week doesn't even matter, right? But if you can afford, like, again, I don't need Jordan Mason, get that second defense. That's fine. All right. So all of that said, let's now get to your questions. That's what we're here for. Appreciate everybody who's still being on here on Tuesday night. Let's start with the very first comment from CR4040 in Germany. This was a nice long time ago, almost 12 hours ago. All right, CR. 3 receivers and 2 flexes in half. Need some help. Got Lawrence or Dart, which is a tough one this week. I know Trevor Lawrence after last week, you're like, how do I not start him? Because he's not playing the Jets this week. He's playing the Broncos at Mile High. If it's my team, I'm going Dart. Just am. Achan, Brown, Hampton, Kamara, Sharps. I don't care if Kamara comes back and plays. I'm not playing him over these guys. And Charbonnet, no thank you. He said 3 receivers, 2 flex. Oh, he's starting at running back, though. I hope it's just Achan and Brown. All right, wide receiver, Lamb, Wilson, London, Mitchell. And you need 3 of them? Okay, so that might be a problem because if London doesn't play, and I don't know that Wilson's going to play, so I'm just going to say Lamb for sure, London if he plays for sure, and then I would just have to say Mitchell because I really haven't heard anything that makes me think Garrett Wilson is coming back. And if London doesn't play, you're going to have to hit the waiver wire. So let's see who we got here. And then tight end, between these guys, you just have to take a chance on Waller. You just have to. And then defense, again, same 2. Saints, Bills. Now, between the 2, I'm going to prefer the Saints, actually. Just a better matchup. If it's Brady Cook. Now, if Tyrod Taylor comes back and plays this week, which is possible, then I'll go Buffalo. So CR's options at waiver wire for receiver, which you might need. Not too great. You can't do Pierce or Colts receiver, just no upside. DK. Guess it would be Slayton. You know what? Just pair him with Dart, I guess. A running back, you don't really need a running back. You might want to grab Carter just to have him. I'd rather grab Carter than Charbonnet. So do that just because you can. And then Parkinson. Okay. Yeah, I would do that. I would grab Parkinson for sure. I would play him over Waller. Yep. So Carter, Parkinson, Slayton. Yeah. I think that's basically what I said. So let's do that. All right. Trent Thompson. What's up, Trent? Thank you very much. 10-teamer, full PPR. 1, 2, 2. Tight end and a flex. Okay. So we got Stafford or Darnold. You got to go Stafford here. It's not the best matchup for Stafford necessarily. Don't feel like it's going to be a big game. So I did drop him down in my rankings this week at the road against Seattle. He'll still be fine. But again, even though it's at home for Seattle against that Rams defense, but also moreover, what's Darnold really done? His upside has definitely been capped lately. Don't want to trust him. I'm just going to say this is a 10-teamer. Is Brissett out there? Did somebody drop him because of the matchup last week? Go Brissett definitely over both. I would go Brissett over Stafford this week. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Brissett has been solid. And I actually don't mind CJ Stroud this week. I know starting Stroud over Stafford would feel uncomfortable. I think he has a bigger game. It's just a much better matchup. He's been better lately. Okay, so let's see. A.J. Brown, Pickens, Myers, Wandale, Pierce. We need 2 of those. Well, not Pierce. I know that. A.J. Brown is the one. I think I'm going to go, believe it or not. No, I'm not. I'm going to still put Pickens. Just because it's Myers gets – it was a different matchup, I would go Myers. I really don't trust Pickens anymore, but I think I have to go over Myers because of the Broncos. So let's go to JB and Pickens. Barkley, yes, for sure. I think Etienne still gets the nod over Swift. I think I would just flex Swift here. Swift still has enough upside. Like him better than Myers. Wandale is okay. And then Bowers or Pitts. Look, and I'm just going Pitts. Even if London comes back, I think I'm going Pitts. And then again, not just because of last week, but what are you getting from Bowers? What are you going to get from Bowers against the Texans? You can't risk it, which sounds crazy, but you can't. And then Jags or the Bears. I know it's not a great matchup for the Jags, but it's not really great for the Bears either. So I would just go Jags here in this case. Trent says he started off 3-0, lost 7 straight, and wound up 500. Snuck into the playoffs. There you go, the generational comeback. Look, it doesn't matter how you got there, what seed you were. A win is a win. You keep it going, and you just, you know what? Doesn't matter how you win. A win's a win. All right, what's up, Bob? I want to thank you for all your help this season. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here all season. Absolutely. Thank you. By the way, I forgot to say that. Like and subscribe. Guys, you know, we're towards the end of the year. Maybe we don't get to 100K, but we're really close. And again, just anybody who has already subscribed and helped us get to where we are now. Hard to believe, like thinking about it, that we were even at close to 100K in terms of subscribers. It's crazy, but yeah, it's awesome. So just thank you. And you're welcome, I guess, Cody, for allowing the Steelers to dog walk your Dolphins. And it wasn't me. I had no part in it. I guarantee you that. But I guess you're welcome anyways. Look, I'm used to the Dolphins not making the playoffs, so no skin off my back. What I really care about, definitely more, is college playoffs. Coming this Saturday. Canes at the Aggies. Let's see. And I don't know if y'all know, but I mean, I'm born and raised in Miami, which is why I'm a diehard Miami everything fan. But I live now in San Antonio, in Texas, and there are a ton of Aggies around here. Aggies fans, yes, UT and Longhorns, and of course UTSA, but there's a ton of Aggies. So yeah, when I'm wearing my Hurricanes gear around here now, I get some looks from people. I know that they're Aggies, but they feel like they're going to win. And maybe they will, but it's going to be a good game. All right, let's get to enough about me. Michael Cazares. Start Loveland, Fannin, or Parkinson. You know, Loveland isn't really high on the radar for me this week. Chris either. Fannin, of course, getting a ton of targets, but it is a brutal matchup. The Bills are one of the toughest against tight ends, and we saw no matter how many targets you get, they still have to be quality targets. And so Fannin is certainly startable, but I'm going Parkinson. I already said it. Just how can you not look at him and think this is a top 5, top 3 tight end this week? Easily over Bowers. McBride, of course, is number 1. Like, there's no debate there. Kittle is probably the only tight end I would take over Parkinson this week. Not even kidding. So, because keep in mind, Devontae Adams is not going to play. Parkinson already has been rolling. He's already been scoring on a weekly basis. You just have to. You have to. And then start Devonta Smith, McLaurin, or Kyron in the last flex. Now, it is a tougher spot for Kyron. Again, that Seattle defense, really tough against running backs, really soft against tight ends. If this is PPR, here's the thing. Devontae Smith, feel like this could be a good week for him, but it's risky. McLaurin is still risky just because of the state of that offense. So if this is PPR, it's really tough because it's not a good matchup for Terry. I think Devonta Smith has the upside. I mean, he's the guy who is the riskiest, but also the highest upside. So look, if you want to play it safe, just go Kyron. If you're looking for that big game, which that's what I do when I set my lineups, I'm going Devonta Smith. Like he could he could get you like 3 catches for 34 yards, or he could have a huge game. It's the Washington Commanders, so I would take that chance. What's up, Benny? Oh, yeah, 4 out of feet. Okay, it's funny you say this. So he says 4 of the teams got eliminated. Jettis, Pickens, Adunze, likely. Best team was on a bye. Well, that's nice. Might not get JCM or Jordan. Thoughts on Estime? No, I'm not doing Estime. If Neal comes back and plays and he's fine, I'll start Neal. Estime. I mean, who are you starting him over is the question. You really don't have somebody better than Audric Estime? But I was looking through some of my draft lane leagues today to see, okay, where did I win? Where am I still in it? And pretty much almost every team, I mean, several teams, not a lot of teams, several of the teams where I lost, either I just barely didn't make the playoffs or I lost in the first round, like Justin Jefferson. And I told you, I was like, I'm not even starting Justin Jefferson last week. So not even that he got me nothing last week, but I had to bench my first round pick, Justin Jefferson. And I mean, a lot of losing teams this year, Justin Jefferson on them. So I would blame him. Should I prioritize Estime, Mitchell, Golden, or Bourne? Bourne? Nah. Bourne is a no, like easy no. Golden, not enough target share. 80 Mitchell is a possibility. I am flexing 80 Mitchell in a couple leagues where I'm still in it. So that's my choice. All right, Rusty. What's up, Rusty? Got a couple of questions here. So Waller, Parkinson, I already said I'm going Parkinson here. And then any worry on CD, Rice, or Evans? CD, pretty close to 0. Evans, at this point, after last week, probably less than 0. Rice, I am concerned. I know Chris isn't as concerned because he still feels like the target share will be there. I am concerned because without getting too deep into it, Rashee Rice is one of those receivers who, he thrives against zone. He gets the target share, sure, but he is a guy who really, gets the benefit of having Pat Mahomes give him such catchable targets. His catchable target rate is the highest in the NFL. It's going to drop. It's not going to be nearly the same for me. I worry that Rice is going to bust. Maybe not do nothing, but I don't feel a big game here. So I really don't think Rice is a guy you have to start. I'm definitely putting Evans and CD over him. That's for sure. And then Rusty needs an RB2. Bill, Michael Carter, Pacheco, Corum. Pacheco is an easy no. Corum, of course, interesting, but at Seattle, a super tough spot. I'd go Michael Carter. Michael Carter, we know, is getting the touches. Bill could get the touches again, but Rodriguez might come back. But even if Bill's the guy, gets the Eagles. Give me Michael Carter in a much easier matchup, and he catches passes as well. Bill is still not really doing that, so it's Carter. And then Justin Gilbert. What's up, Justin? All right, starts at flex. Love McCarthy. Harrison, perhaps if he plays. Evans, Lattery, Taylor, Genty, Etienne, Corum, Jacory, Rodriguez. Oh, we got a lot of options. You've been busy on the waiver wire. Good job, my friend. All right, so let's work backwards here. As I already said, I'm going Saints over Jags because of the matchup. I'm definitely going Parkinson, even over Schultz. And then at running back, can't start Genty. He's just an easy no for me. I think you still, for the most part, need to start Taylor just because of the volume. And then I think Etienne is still the number 2. Even in a tougher spot, he'll still get enough run. So it's Taylor and Etienne. And then Evans for sure. I mean, if Harrison comes back and he's a full go, like there's no concerns by the time we get to Saturday, I'll go Harrison as my number 2 receiver. And if not, it's Ladd. But I actually think here out of this group, like if that's the case, like if Harrison doesn't play again, then I'll go ahead and I'll flex Carter. And then quarterback, Lever McCarthy, I can't go with 9. I'm just gonna go Love and take what he gives me. Orange and blue, true. How's it going? Do I start Burrow with T. Higgins in the championship finals or hit the waivers for another QB? Well, let's see. Okay, definitely not McCarthy, not Bryce Young. Darrell, no. I mean, like Stroud. I do like Stroud this week, but I'm not going to put him over Burrow. It's just Goff. Goff is the only one. So that one is close. You would think Burrow should just be set and forget after last week. We have concerns about not his effectiveness so much, but his motivation. Again, I don't think he's just going to, like tap out of the season or anything like that. We both had him solid. The question really I have is not whether Goff, or I should say whether Burrow will do anything, like, if he's going to have another dud. I don't think he will. He's got a better matchup. It's much better weather. It's will Goff outscore him? Because Goff has a really good matchup. So I think I would go Goff. And I'm looking at our rankings here and how we have him, and it looks like, yeah, I had Goff just ahead of Burrow, and Chris does too. Got him just ahead of Burrow. So let's go Goff here. But if T. Higgins is active, play T. Higgins. There's no concern there. It's just whether he's able to play or not. All right, Pedro Navarez. Welcome, Pedro. Hurts, Gibbs, Browns, Jason, T. Higgins, Pitts, Judkins, Flowers, Broncos or Chiefs. Defense. Despite the fact that they are not playing for anything anymore, I think you got to go Chiefs here and get the Titans. The bench, Burden. We'll see if Burden plays. Well, you know what? In this case, I know I was saying Parkinson over everyone. I mean, you already have Pitts. If London doesn't play, I think you're okay just playing with Pitts, or you can take a chance on Parkinson. I'm okay with that as well. I mean, there's nothing else much you can do here. We got to wait on Burden to see if he's even active. You also have to wait on Higgins to make sure he's active. So hold tight here, but I don't think there's any other moves really to make. The only question is Burden going to play? Like if Burden plays and Rome doesn't play, I could flex him over Judkins. And that's the only question here. All right, what about Mike Montalva? First-time fantasy player. Nice. Went 1-3 and then came to the promised land. Wow, that's the best story. I love it here. At 9-5 in the playoffs after a bye. That's awesome. It's great. First time. It's not always this easy, but hey, you're doing something right. 1 flex, 2 running backs. Okay, let's see. Bryce, Terry, Javonte, Hendo, Judkins, Hampton. No, okay, so I got Colby over Schultz. I'm playing Colby, and I talked about this in the waiver wire. I actually mentioned Schultz because in conjunction with C.J. Stroud, I said C.J. Stroud should have a good game. I don't necessarily assume this is a good game for Dalton Schultz. Yes, the Raiders, but the Raiders, for reasons that are hard to explain, are the toughest defense against tight ends over the past 2 months. They just are. So I think Schultz is inconsistent, like good 1 week, down another week. So Schultz is fine, but you gotta go Colby here. Okay, so you need 2 running backs. I think you're gonna go Javonte and Hendo. And then at the flex, I mean, I just talked about this. I can go Terry over Rice. I can do it. That's me. If you want to keep Rice in there, I'm not going to argue against it, but I'm going with Terry. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Herbert Roman, should I drop Devontae Adams to pick up Cortland Sutton? Now, if Cortland Sutton is for some reason just on waivers, which I can't imagine why, then this is probably a shallow league. I don't want to drop Devontae Adams because even though he's not playing this week, he could play next week. Like, there's really nobody else you could drop. I'm just going to say no. I don't want to drop Adams right now because they haven't said that he's out next week. If they say that, okay, fine. But yeah, there's got to be somebody else you can drop. But definitely try to get Sutton. Man, I can't imagine why Cortland Sutton is on waivers in your league. So no, don't drop Adams if you can. Help it. All right, Justin needs another one. Justin Gilbert. Cut Vidal, Wilson, Ladd, Bill Rodriguez, Reed, Genty. I think realistically, at this point, you could probably cut with your roster. You could probably just cut both Commanders running backs because are you going to play them this week? No. They get the Eagles. Rodriguez would be the first cut because he's the one who's been hurt. And, hypothetically, if Rodriguez is still out and Bill's the lead guy, he has some value there. Maybe he could jump over those other guys that you have on running back. Maybe even Genty, but I think you can cut him because if Rodriguez plays, then it's probably still a timeshare here, and it's not a good matchup. So Rodriguez is out. If you need room to pick up somebody else, you don't have to keep Bill. And I think Vidal is expendable for a good pickup. What's up, Spearsy? Was eliminated from the playoffs? Wow. Well, I mean, been there. It happens. You can't win them every time, but that's the most important thing. I'm glad you said that. You had fun. Because if this isn't fun, then why are you doing it, right? We're not solving the world's problems by playing fantasy football. It's for fun. It's a good escape. So as long as you're having fun, that's what matters. But we appreciate you. Stick around. I mean, even if you're not still in it, just love hanging out with you. All right, so Pedro Navarez wants to know for the ship. Allen or Burrow? It's Allen. It's easily Allen. And then Lamar Brissett. Wow. Didn't think this would be a tough one. Lamar or Brissett? I mean, what else do we have to say about Jacoby Brissett? He's just been the most consistent quarterback pretty much in the entire NFL. And again, I didn't say the best. I said the most consistent. And that is objectively true. He gets a good matchup at home. Oh, man. So we have these players again. I'm talking Lamar Jackson, Jacoby Brissett, in the same tier exactly. They're both kind of low end QB1. I think if it's me, still putting Lamar in there because he does have more upside. He runs. Again, I feel like they're going to need him this week. It's an important game for Baltimore. The defense doesn't scare me. Jacoby Brissett, again, should be totally solid, but if you feel like you need the upside, go Lamar. If you don't want to take a risk, you're like, I just want somebody who's not going to hurt me, I'm fine with Brissett. All right, what's up, Moises? Got burned by the Ravens and lost a playoff spot. Yeah, that hurts. The Ravens have been one of the most frustrating teams this whole season. So Lamar, yeah. We talked about Lamar and likely was indeed a trap. On the 12-teamer, let's see, trust Stafford or pivot CJ Stroud or Dart. Well, I already talked about this. I'm fine with Stroud. I would go Stroud. I'm not opposed to starting Stafford. He should be still solid, but I'm okay with Stroud for more upside. And as far as tight end, I mean, it's for me, Colby number 1 by a big margin, Waller number 2. And then Schultz number 3. And how can you not want to start Waller? It's the Bengals. We all know what happened with Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews last week. It was nothing. And don't be shocked if all of a sudden this week, like what we saw last week, which is why no one started Darren Waller this week, that it's Greg Dulcich again. Oh, by the way, yeah, Tua might not be the quarterback. So do you really want to start Darren Waller if it's like Quinn Ewers at quarterback? I mean, how good does that make you feel? So it's easily Colby here. Waller is still second if it's 2 at quarterback, and then Schultz is third. RB room is concerning. Judkins, Mark, Rico Chuba. Well, it's not bad. It's just Judkins has been letting down lately, and Marks can't finish a game. And Rico's been fine. Would you prioritize waiver wire pickup Carter, Bill, Estime? It's that order. That's exactly the order. No, Colby is the number one priority here, like for sure. Yeah, and, John Johnson's okay, but he's just getting you a floor. That's it. Colby's your number one priority. Carter's your number two priority, and you probably don't need any of those other guys. All right, and yeah, muchas gracias and de nada. Daniel Scarrett, which defense to stream this week? Stashing Seattle, good choice. So, yeah, don't play Seattle this week. I'm going Saints, assuming it's Brady Cook at quarterback. I'll go Saints. If it's Tyrod Taylor, I'll pivot to KC. NTY, always in the house, both for the live streams and for Draft Lane. Appreciate you more than you know. All right, 10-teamers, Schultz versus Colby. It's Colby. It's easily Colby. I mean, I would give you more my thoughts, but I think I've already probably talked way too much about Colby Parkinson, and I talked about him plenty on the waiver wire video. Yeah, it's Colby. As Troyer. Good evening. Got the bye. Awesome. Waiting for week 17. That's a good feeling. Should I drop Warren and Hubbard for a combo of Carter, Burden, maybe Reed? I assume you mean Jalen Warren. He's now been surpassed. Kenneth Gainwell is the guy who's not only the pass catching back, which is more valuable in your PPR leagues. He's getting just as much run in terms of carries. He's their RB of choice. And Aaron Rodgers was giving him some praise. I mean, he likes him, and so what Rodgers says is going to go. Maybe that's the reason behind this. Again, normally wouldn't recommend this, but you're playing for next week and next week only. All you care about is week 17. And so you don't have to worry about what ifs and all this stuff. Next week, week 17, I should say, the Steelers get the Browns on the road. That's not a good spot for Warren. Fine, drop him. Do it. Carter's going to be the lead back because there's nobody else there. Hubbard is just a handcuff. I'm fine dropping him for Burden too. Let's take a chance here. Reed, nah, not interesting enough. But yeah, you can do this. Alexander's channel, what's up? Here's the squad. Stafford, Jacobs, Kyron, Jason, Diggs, Jefferson. Ooh, man, you're still in it? You got Jefferson in there? Cannot start Justin Jefferson. Bench is Marks, Corn, Pittman, Judkins. Okay, well, maybe I see why you have Jefferson in there. You can't start Pittman either. Bears receivers, Gadsden, Slayton, T-Law, Juwan, Bill, Mitchell. Yeah, you really honestly can drop Justin Jefferson. There's no justifiable reason to start him at this point. There just isn't. The only argument you could say of Justin Jefferson, he was good last year and the year before, like in the past. There's nothing based on what has happened this season and what's happening right now that can warrant putting Jefferson in your lineup for the championship. So I'm gonna go with Bears receiver. I'll just say that DJ Moore, pick him up. You could drop Pittman. Because are you starting Pittman? No. Should you be starting Pittman? No. So, I hate to say it, but you're dropping Justin Jefferson and Michael Pittman to pick up DJ Moore and Luther Burden. Gaston, you can leave. I still take Fannin. It's fine. I don't like T-Law this week. Juwan, Anvil, Mitchell. Maybe Mitchell, but I don't want to drop anybody else. So, that's it. Drop Jefferson and Pittman for the Bears receivers. See who starts. All right, J Love 007 won last week. Nice. Let's see. Hopefully London comes back. Hopefully you just keep winning. All right, appreciate that. Yes, subscribe, everybody. And also Ninja Finessin was able to go up against the juggernaut that was Trevor Lawrence last week and still survive. Very nice. Jake the Snake needs a receiver flex tight end defense. Okay, so between wide receivers, you got Rice, Harrison, Watson, QJ. I'll say if Watson plays, it's Watson, which just sounds like he's playing. If it's not Watson, like if he doesn't play, then I would say if Harrison plays, it's Harrison, and if neither play, it's Rice. A flex here. Oh, we only have one running back. Well, I mean, let's go back to the ifs. If everybody is active here, again, it's just that same order. It would be Watson and Harrison, or Watson and Rice, or Harrison and Rice. And if none of those receivers play, well, then it's just going to be Rice and Gainwell, I guess. Tight end is definitely Parkinson. Defense, you got to go Eagles here. Definitely Eagles. You can't flex a tight end. Interesting. Well, I don't think. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think I would have flexed a tight end anyways. Just start Parkinson. All right. Good luck, Jay. Wondered what your thoughts are on Burrow and Pickens, where I already talked about Burrow. He'll be okay this week. Can't expect a big game because Dolphins haven't given up big games to quarterbacks because they don't score enough themselves and they play such a slow pace and playing very conservative. You know, the defense as well, keeping everything in front of them. So Burrow is just okay. He's honestly more like he's like on the edge between low end QB1 and high end QB2. Pickens moving forward, he's not a must start. You know, I'll talk about that. I did talk about that in the wide receiver video. So no, they're not must starts. Neither one of them. What's up, Juice? Journey in the 14-teamer came to an end thanks to Etienne popping off, and that will happen. But there's light in the tunnel. You beat me in the Draft Lane League. I'm sure you did. I checked mine. I'm still alive in like 5 of them. But yeah, I did lose like 4 or 5 times last week in the playoffs. And that's just the way it goes. So congrats to you. I'm sure you have a better team. So keep it going. Like if you're going to beat me, then you better take it all, right? You better win the championship. All right. And then we got Chico. Lost in the semis. Wow, are you kidding? Like a quarter of a point? Wow. That's the worst part, honestly. And, you know, having the fractional, the decimal points is better than a tie. I mean, you don't want to tie in the playoffs, but then you lose by a fraction of a point. It's brutal, but what can you do? We appreciate you being here all season till next year. Hey, and don't forget, you're like, yeah, you're going to wait till next season. We got content all off season. Guys, we don't take a break ever. We'll be talking about next year. We'll talk about the NFL draft and the players we like and best ball and, of course, the INC channel. So, yeah, stick around, right? Still stick around and check out the videos. So, yes, we'll definitely like and subscribe. And Justin O'Grady says also, thank you for another year. Somehow survived with Brees, K9, Sharps, Vidal, Menunga at running back. That's impressive. You have both Seattle running backs, and you're still alive. And Brees, wow. In a 10-teamer, I don't know. That's impressive. The waivers are slim. Well, Tootin is done for the season. I didn't mention that at the top of the show. He's on IR. He's out. So it's definitely Carter as the first choice here. Bill would be your backup choice, and you can just rage drop both of the Seahawks running backs just to get them off your roster. Just in case you do win it all, make sure that they don't get a ring because they don't deserve one, right? I do that sometimes. Sounds petty, and it is. Gemini Earth Snake Legend. What's up, Legend? Just renewed the membership as all 3 of my teams have made it to the second round of their championships. Very nice. First place in the IDP. Well, we can't take any credit for the IDP stuff, but glad you won. Got last week off and the easier match this week. There you go. That's why you want that bye. Worry-free, and then you sometimes want to put a better matchup. So awesome. Congratulations, Legend. Louderman 85, half PPR. Okay, Baker or Herbert, and then pick the best 3. 2 RBs and a flex out of those guys. All right, well, let's start with Baker or Herbert. Baker was a little bit better last week. I still don't think he looks quite like himself. Panthers do not play other than like once or twice a year randomly in high scoring, fast paced games. One of the slowest offenses out there. Give me Herbert and hope he puts up a big game against the Cowboys. Again, I don't assume Herbert will have a big game, but he could. I feel better about him. So I'm going to Herbert here, and then we need 3. I mean, I'm just kind of right now, I'm not starting Genty. He's not one. I'm just crossing him off my list mentally. Blake Warren, Jalen Warren. I don't really want to start Jalen Warren. Watson is going to be my flex if he plays. So assuming he's good, which just sounds optimistic that he will play, I'm going to go Etienne, Kyron, and Watson. All right, there you go. What's up, Vinny? Made it through round 1. The team is beat up. Is AD Mitchell worth picking up? Yeah, you know what? Not just I recommended him. I did it myself in a couple leagues where I'm still active. I picked up AD Mitchell. I actually already had AD Mitchell from a couple weeks ago. I didn't drop him anywhere. But I also picked him up again. So I think he's a flex option. Better than Franklin and Bill? Yeah, I got AD Mitchell over those guys. And then Dak or Love? That one's tough. Dak obviously has taken a step back, and Pickens has taken a step back. And, the Cowboys, he throws so much. He still has that high floor. So he is a decent, like a good streaming option is what we got him this week. He's no longer solid or, like a great option. Jordan Love is also just a streaming option because the touchdowns are inconsistent. It's not a great matchup for him. I think let's give the edge to Dak here because just feel better about his volume and his potential. All right, then we got Balake 321, a fellow Dolphins fan. All right, not ashamed, not hiding it. Parkinson or Tyler Warren? It's easily Parkinson here. Easily Parkinson. Let me get into it again. Flex RJ or Diggs? It's definitely RJ if he plays. Let's hope he plays. The rib issue, not sure what's going on there. It's too early to say. So it's definitely RJ. And if he's out, man, I don't even know if I want to play Diggs anymore. So let's see if you got another choice. All right, let's get to yes. All right, well, there you go. You got it from another Dolphins fan, another Dolph fan who needs to be benched. He does look pretty cooked, doesn't he? What's the point here? The problem is the contract, but let's say that for the offseason. Not going to get into that right now. Mac Jones to Miami. I don't know. Is that a big upgrade? All right. What about Marty? What's up? Question is below. Thanks to you. I'm prepping for round 2 of playoff week 16. How to buy. That's what you want. Let's see, though. Prepping for round 2. Needs 1 receiver, 1 running back, and 1 flex. Tracy, Corum, Neal, C-Rod, Kamara, waiver wire. Olave, Michael Wilson, J.J. Pierce-Sutton. Let's see. Where to start this week and stash for next week. Okay. I think at running back with those choices, I do. I mean, if he plays, and again, he left early, Devin Neal I'm talking about. Devin Neal's in a great spot. He's going to get the Jets. So I would like to say if it's Devin Neal, healthy, good to go, and Kamara is not, I think Neal is your choice there. Otherwise, it's going to be Tracy. And then as far as 1 receiver, you just got to go Michael Wilson. Even if Harrison comes back, I think you just go Michael Wilson, and then you flex Olave. Sutton is not in a bad spot either, but I just, again, it's the Jets. Just got to put Olave in your lineup at this point. Yep, and those guys should be fine. So Olave, Wilson, and Neal if he plays, and Kamara doesn't. Tracy otherwise. Now, as far as stashing for next week, I again still have zero interest in Kamara. I think you can make that switch. You can drop C-Rod to pick up Carter. And then, none of those receivers. I mean, talk about cooked. I think Pearsall's just cooked at this point. So, no, that's it. Okay. Yeah, see, I agree. Ninja agrees. Rice is probably cooked. Pretty sure. All right, let's see who's next. All right, let's do Eric Angel. What's up, Eric? Pick one, Rice or T-Mac. Yeah, I don't feel great about Rice, but how good could you feel about T-Mac? He barely gets even targeted. I can go Rice here. Jennings or Ladd? In standard, easily Jennings. He's been getting touchdowns. He's been getting end zone targets. Pearsall is probably going to be out now again. It's definitely Jennings here. All right, what about... yeah, all right. Try to get something different here. Let's do Guza 2469. Warren, Etienne, Tracy, or Harvey. Need 2. Assuming Harvey plays, he's 1. Etienne is 2. If Harvey doesn't play, then Tracy is the 2 after Etienne. Nino 98er. Already talked a lot about Parkinson. Let's talk about him again. Fannin over Parkinson. I think you got to go Parkinson here. Again, he was scoring every single week. Like last week, now all of a sudden we're like, wow, Kobe Parkinson. He's been doing this for over a month, and now Devontae Adams is out. You just have to. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, let's go to... All right, P-Cakes. PC, my initials. Got to the final 2 in a 17-week guillotine. That's a good feeling because you know how hard that is. Then people are like, oh, it's easy. You get to pick up all these good players when they get cut. No, but so does everybody else. That's what makes it harder. Like the team you draft is meaningless, and you have to be active and you have to be smart about your waivers. And when you pick up players, not just who you pick up and how much you bid, it is tough. That's why I love it. I'm going to do more guillotine leagues next year, actually. The only couple I did this year were best ball, so I didn't even get to make waivers. It was just draft, and that's it. There were those charity leagues, but yeah. Only issue is Bowers. Opponent has McBride. Yeah, that's an issue. Yeah, okay. So your case, P-Cakes, you just chop Bowers. Get rid of Bowers. Pitts or Kittle. I mean, I do think to some extent this matters whether London plays, because we can't assume that Pitts will get the same target share here. And it's still a good matchup for the Niners. So let's just go Kittle. Just play it safe. Go Kittle here. This is the only week that matters. Let's get it. All right. And Merry Christmas. Not sure about that one. Okay. Let us get to ZDub88. Thank you, ZDub. Corma Rodriguez. I mean, assuming Rodriguez plays, still tough matchup. Let's go Corum, even though it's a tough matchup for him too. He's just in a better offense by far. CJ Watson, Pittman, Waddle, or Wandale Evans with Mahomes done. Which QB? Okay, well, let's do the first one first. Pick 3. Watson is 1 if he plays. Evans is 1 no matter what. And then, man, you can't play Pittman. I really don't want to play Waddle, of course. Let's just go Wandale and see what he gets you. And then you're saying CJ. I hope you didn't mean CD or somebody else. I'm trying to think actually what's CJ. I'm not sure who that's supposed to be. Think about it. But I'm going to say with what I see here, Evans, Watson, Wandale. Now with the home's done, let's see. Cousins, Purdy, Herbert, or Stroud. Okay, we can safely ignore Cousins. You got good options here. I think with those three, though, I'll prefer Purdy still. Very high floor. No concerns here. Let's go Purdy. All right, and then true skills. 1122. Herbert or Dart. In this case, I'll go Herbert for upside. I think Dart is fine, but again, settling more and it's like a floor play. Matchup is just okay. It's not great this week, so Herbert it is. Adams is more than iffy. Really don't think he's playing, so don't believe what they're saying. Oh, we're gonna wait and we're not gonna rule him out. Like, no, he's not playing. And even if he does play, you really want to play a guy who just aggravated his hamstring for the second time in 2 weeks? No, it's not even a good matchup, anyways. Should I have Watson, Alec Pierce? Getting Reed waivers. Watson is clearly number one there. Reed is like a distant 2, and Pierce is not someone you want to play. And then Pitts or Bowers, it's Pitts. It's definitely Pitts here. Paul Bird, again, just another excuse to say Parkinson over Fannin. Yes. Got to go Parkinson here. And Alexis. What's up, Alexis? Made it to the conference championship, Final Four. Won a repeat as champ for the first time in league's history. Wow, that would be great. Do something that hasn't been done before. Set the lineup, 2-2-1. All right. Bijan is 1. Hendo is 2. That's it. Wide receivers are Nico, T, and Sutton. Okay, Nico is definite wide receiver 1. I think if T plays, he's your wide receiver 2. And if he doesn't, then it's Sutton. The flex, I will say if RJ Harvey plays, he's my flex. If he doesn't play, then Sutton is your flex, unless T is already not playing. And if you have to go deeper, then I guess, again, I'm saying like if Harvey doesn't play and T Higgins doesn't play, then you go Nico Sutton, and then your flex would be Judkins. All right, Lexus, well, good luck. Good question, David Chaparro. Waller or Goddard? You play it safe with the Goddard pick there. I mean, you can't expect him to do what he did last week. Do you really expect Darren Waller to do what he did last week? I know it's the Bengals, but honestly, it could very well be a trap. I'm just going to go Goddard here. I'm going to go Goddard. There are many tight ends that I would not put over Waller, but I think Goddard is definitely one of them. Ooh, this is a good question. RJ, YK5UK. T. Higgins or Mike Evans, if he plays, I mean, I know T is a strong option here, but you've got to go Mike Evans. It's just Evans. The target share was there. It's Mike Evans. There's no question, no risk here. But there is some risk. What if T does it again, right? Takes a hit to the head, gets evaluated. They're going to keep an eye on him here. There don't seem to be any issues at this point with Evans. I'm just going to go Evans. I think we both had him as a strong start. All right, we got a lot of repeat questions. I want to say the same thing over and over just because I know you probably already heard me say yes to Colby Parkinson 1,000 times. Thank you, Romeo. Best comment of the day. That's right. It is, in fact, all about the U. All right. Cerulean Dog, what are your thoughts on Tua? Does he get traded? Well, that's the thing. You know, I read a little bit about this today and the situation here. Like, they're not cutting him because the cap hit is just too much, that contract. If a team would trade for Tua, then almost surely the Dolphins would have to, compensate and pay for some of that contract. And they'd have to eat some money, which they might be willing to do. But what team is really going to want to take, even with part of that contract potentially being taken on? Who's trading for Tua? This is my question. Really? Who's trading for Tua? Like, this is it. This is the solution. Like, he wasn't good enough in Miami, but he'll be good enough for us. I don't know. I don't see it happening. I think he's still kind of the de facto starter next year in Miami. They're going to draft someone, but not in the first round. They'll they'll spend like a day 2 pick on a quarterback. There'll be a competition, and it'll be like all year long, lingering. Like, is Tua the placeholder? It's gonna be one of those situations. That's my gut feel. So we'll see. I mean, I hope they draft a quarterback. And again, I don't mean round 7. I mean, like, round 2 or 3. We'll see. All right. This is shocking. Elena, 0301. Mike Evans, for some reason, is still on the waiver wire, even after last week. No, we're not living in the past, right? We didn't just like rewind back to week 14. Mike Evans is still on the waiver wire. Like after putting up over 100 yards and being Mike Evans, nobody was like, yeah, I need that guy. Yes, you need to pick up Mike Evans. You absolutely need to pick up Mike Evans and start Mike Evans. All right. Well, I don't know if I have the answer to this. Gene Griggs 201. What's up with Pickens? I mean, look, we've heard it before. We've seen it sometimes to get demotivated and take plays off. But 2 whole games now where he's basically just like taken off. And 2 games where they needed to win to keep their playoff hopes alive and then didn't. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's. I mean, I don't want to speculate, right? Pickens playing for a contract. He had a 1-year contract, trying to get paid. But this is a weird way to endear yourself to a team if you want them, like the Cowboys, to pay you to stay, by not giving max effort or showing to other teams that you're worth it. Like, I wonder if he's like trying to protect himself, right? Like not get injured and not go all out, but might want to be hurting himself. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with the Pickens, but I know I don't feel like I have to start him. I think if London and Watson play, I will sit Pickens. Yeah, I would definitely put London over Pickens. Watson, yeah, I would put Watson over him too. Goddard, Waller, already said I'm going Goddard. All right, there you go. And this one's easy. Hooper edits Prodigy. Rashee Rice or Mike Evans in standard. I'm easily going Evans here. Easily Evans. And then Ricardo Costa, Saints or Bills, really close. So I'll just say again what I've been saying. If Brady Cook is the Jets quarterback, it's the Saints. If Tyrod Taylor comes back and plays, then just go Bills. Oh, wow, Gene, you live in New Braunfels. That's really close to here. I just was there not that long ago. Cool. That's very close. And, one of our guys, I don't know if he's on tonight, but Joe Castles, he lives in I don't know if it's no, it's not. He lives in Shirts. Yeah, he lives in Shirts. It's not San Marcos. It's on the way there. That's not even that close. But yeah, he's really close here too. Awesome. All right, Big Lou. It's Parkinson. Over Bowers, yes. Over Warren, yes. It's Parkinson. Definitely. All right, Alina, who is immediately right now going to go put a claim in and spend as much as it takes to get Mike Evans. If you get him, you play him over whoever, but let's assume that you still need a flex or you don't get him. It's not Walker, Wandale, Thomas Jr., Jacoby. I'm going to go Thomas Jr. Now, we broke this down. Don't want to get back into it as far as the wide receivers in that matchup. Terrible matchup against the Denver Broncos on the road. But the actual schematic matchup might actually favor Brian Thomas Jr. over Jacoby Myers, because you think of Myers as a slot guy, but he actually isn't. In Jacksonville, he hasn't been in the slot. Chris said this in the video. He's been playing almost 80% of his routes on the outside. They got Parker Washington mainly in the slot, and they're moving him around a little bit. The point is that Jacoby Myers might draw a lot more Pat Surtain. So go Brian Thomas Jr. He keeps getting better. Kelsey or Waller? I'm going to go Waller here. I don't know. Gardner Minshew, sure, he might target Kelsey, 10 times, 12 times, but what are you getting out of it? Just take a chance on Waller here. And then let's see. It's Esteban. Hey. So in his 6-team league, you can do this. Sit 2. I'm still not sitting Jamar Chase. I'm not sitting Evans. Oh, man. This is tough. I think I can sit Terry because of the matchup, getting the Eagles. Look, if Harrison is out, you have to start Wilson. So let's sit JMO and Terry. Man. What is up, Julio? Colby or Bowers? It's Colby. Purdy or Lamar? Oh man, I know. But you look I know if anybody, Julio, you've been aggravated by the Ravens and all that. I think you can just go Purdy, not worry about it. Just go Purdy. He's fine. Chiefs or Bills? That one's close. The Chiefs get the Titans. It's totally fine. It's probably gonna be a super low scoring game. So I'm gonna go Chiefs here. Yeah, just for this week. Next week's a different situation. Gotta get through this week first. All right, Seth Swirsky. What's up, Seth? Appreciate you as always. So Hurts, Henry, Javonte are starting. Tight end, 2 receivers, a running back, and 3 flexes. All right. Brees Hall, Debo, Teague, Buka, Pierce, Theo Johnson, Parkinson, Watson, Wright. Coker Knox likely. Okay. Let's start with tight end. I think you should know the answer. The tight end here, honestly, it's Parkinson by a mile. Okay, so tight end Parkinson, 1 running back. The only running backs I see, unless I'm missing something, I see Brees Hall and I see Jalen Wright. So if that's the case, it's Brees Hall, like clearly. So then you need 2 receivers. Assuming he plays, I'm going to go T. Higgins as 1. And then Watson as 2. I guess I could say Watson and T. Higgins. I really hope those 2 guys play because you were telling me you need 3 more players here. Yeah, so let's just be very hopeful and say Watson and Higgins. So you got Parkinson, Brees, Watson, Higgins. And now we need 3 more. Really? 3? Okay. I guess Igbuka is 1. I can't believe it, but I'm going to say Coker is the 2. I really do not want to play Debo, but with this group, I think I have to go Debo. I'm not going to chase the touchdowns from Dawson Knox. Likely just get out of here, get him off the roster. Look, it's a 12-man league. I know this looks like a deep. This is a deep roster here. So you might not be able to pick up a guy like Michael Carter or someone like that. So I understand. Man, maybe Luther Burden is out there still. Doubtful. Man, okay. Well, that's what I'm gonna go with. Good luck. Who dat Mac? Have Gibbs, Kyron, Dowdle and the flex. Have Flowers, Jennings, and London. If London plays, who to sit out? Also have Christian Watson. Okay, well, if London and Watson play, then I'm just going to go London and Watson at receiver instead of those 2 guys. And if you need to sit one, well, actually, yeah, if you need to sit one, I think I would sit Rico Dowdle. I'd rather start those receivers. Rico is fine. Nothing wrong with Rico. His matchup is okay. But I think if London plays, you'd still want to play London, and I definitely want to play Watson if he plays. And I still like Jennings. So that's my order of preference. And then Cali Kid, 1 streaming QB, Darnold, Caleb Williams, Brissett, CJ Nixon. Going to go with Brissett here. It's Brissett, and my second choice would be CJ Stroud. Mr. Ruthless. All right. Lineup: Dak, Bucky, Henry, Pickens, Flowers, McLaurin, Bowers, Marks, Elliott, and Broncos on the bench. To my lineup look okay. Well, the big issue here, honestly, is Brock Bowers. After what we saw last week, Kenny Pickett, and honestly, with what we saw even before that, Geno Smith against the Texans, can't do it. So I'm going to try to get Parkinson, of course, and start him over Bowers. And if you don't get him, can't get him, then go Ferguson. Running back, you're okay. Receiver, I mean, again, nervous about Pickens, nervous a little bit about Flowers, but I'm not starting Shakir or Shaheed over them. So actually, I think the rest of your lineup is okay. So let's make that switch at tight end, and then if Woody plays, he's fine. You can just play Woody at flex. That's okay. I think Woody is going to play. Sounds like he is. All right, Blake M. Goff or Josh Allen? Goff is in a good spot. It's Josh Allen. There's no reason not to play Josh Allen. Got to play. And then Luke S. Swan. Start Sutton or Etienne for my flex. Well, this does kind of depend on whether it's PPR or non-PPR, if it's half. If it's non-PPR, it's definitely Etienne. If it's full PPR, I will go Sutton. I think he'll go Sutton. Again, Etienne has been good. He's definitely going to be the guy with two now, but Sutton's probably going to get plenty of targets here. It's just matchup wise. I think I prefer Sutton in PPR. All right, and then let's do trees. Hubbard, Menega, Corbin, Vidal, pick one as your RB2. Oh man, can't pick up Michael Carter. So I will say Hubbard isn't really startable. Vidal barely, Menungai still kind of touchdown or bust, and so Corum is my choice here. Galaxy pickers, what's going on with Harvey? Well, we didn't really see anything big during the game, but late in that game, he left, and they said that he had a rib injury of some sort. So I haven't gotten any clarification. It's still too early in the week for us to know. It doesn't sound like it was a big issue, but at the same time, you never know. So that's the latest. We'll just have to keep an eye on it. And then I won't put that up. Okay. Let's get to this. Is interesting here. UMass 03. Is the Titans defense good because it's Gardner Minshew? I get what you're thinking here. Titans aren't going to be the worst defense, I'll tell you that. But at the same time, Gardner Minshew is better than Kenny Pickett. He's better than Max Brosmer. I mean, he's started plenty of games before. No, they're not going to put up a lot of points, but the Titans defense just does not force a lot of turnovers, and they'll be okay. There are better defenses out there. Let's put it that way. They're not going to be a defense I'm lining up to stream. Still prefer the Saints. All right, next is Tyler Connor. Welcome back. Dart or Goff? Going to go Goff. Just more upside. I have to throw it a lot. 3 receivers. Sun God is definitely 1. Watson is 2. And then with this group, I can put Myers 3rd. Waddle, of course. All the concern we know he's going to play quarterback for Miami. Just got to be worried there. Reed is not enough upside. Pearsall's probably not going to play. Franklin, I don't trust him. Chase Brown, Monty, Tracy Neal needs 2 running backs. Chase Brown is 1. I think Neal is 2 if he plays, and then you can flex Tracy. Hopefully those guys all play. Nathan Vasquez, good question. Mike Evans or JMO? JMO's been good, but Mike Evans is pretty close to a must start this week. You just gotta lock Evans in there. Definitely more guaranteed targets. And then Derek Gonzalez, welcome back. Thanks for another funny. Oh no, you got wiped out last week. Man. Well, that's how it goes. But again, like I said, no, we'll see you next year, but stick around. You can still hang out, and we're going to talk plenty in the off season about next season. So hopefully we'll see you at least at some point. Texans to the Super Bowl? You never know. At this point, is there an obvious number 1 contender here in either conference? I don't even think so. Okay, Tyler saying you forgot tight end. Okay, have Kincaid, Strange, Parkinson, Waller, fan available. You already know how this is going to go. You can drop Kincaid to get Parkinson. If for some reason you don't get Parkinson, you can go Waller. And if not, you can go Fan. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. Julio says Bowers, Colby, Waller, somebody's in finals. This week it's Colby Parkinson. Next week we'll see. But this week it's Colby. Alyssa Dolphin Cloud. Hey, welcome back. It's been a while. Made it to the second round. What QB and RB to start? Mayfield, Stroud, Caleb, or Lawrence? I'm not trusting Caleb. My fancy playoffs on the line. Again, if it was almost any other matchup other than like Denver on the road or the Houston Texans, it would be T-Law. I don't think you can go T-Law here. I like Stroud the best. I think Stroud is your choice. And then RB, it's Harvey if he plays. It's Tracy if he doesn't. All right. And then Legend needs 3 receivers. Non-PPR. Chase is 1. Watson is 2. London, if he plays, is 3. And if he doesn't, it's McLaurin. And now you don't need to go to the waivers when you got those guys. So I think you're fine. Keith Finnegan, real quick. Have Henry tight end. Get rid of him. Pick up Parkinson. Absolutely. 2 players in Thursday night is fine because there are 2 players on one of the best offenses in the NFL. And Devontae Adams is out. So having 2 Rams is a very good thing. Very good thing. Big Lou wants to know Pickens or Reed. Okay, I'm low on worried about Pickens, but I'm not that low. I'm going to go Pickens over Reed. Reed's still very limited in terms of his usage. It's okay as a flex, but I will still put Pickens over Reed. Okay, and then this is a good one. All right, Galaxy Pickers. That's a tough one. May or Brissett. So May, everyone's still talking him up. Oh, MVP candidate, except they lost last week. Like, imagine if they had beaten Buffalo and like clinched the division and then get the number 1 seed. No. Look, Drake May has been good all year, right? There's nothing wrong with Drake May, and you start him totally solid. And he ran in 2 touchdowns. Of course, you can't predict that. He's not going to do that every week. But that was offset by the fact he didn't throw for any touchdowns. He only threw for 155 yards. And he's been very solid and consistent. He's been such a solid player, and that's exactly what he is. He doesn't put up 300-yard games. In fact, it's crazy. I'm looking at it. He doesn't have a single 300-yard passing game all year. You'd think for a guy who's been talked about as the MVP, he would, right? Have a monster game. He doesn't have a 4-touchdown game passing all year. He only has 2 3-touchdown games. He is the epitome of a very high floor and solid, and there's nothing to worry about with him. And this week, with the Patriots, again, it's not even as tough a matchup than Buffalo. It's the Ravens. He's totally solid. Jacoby Brissett, everything I just said, basically just repeat. Same thing for Jacoby Brissett, just totally solid. So this is almost like Spider-Man. I mean, these guys are the same. They've been solid. You don't expect a massive game, but you're not going to get a down game. The matchup does favor Brissett. But I will say this. I think if Harrison does play, I would give the edge to Brissett. And if he doesn't, I'll just roll with May. Because at least May does run and Brissett doesn't. So there you go. Vision photo. Gainwell or Walker? It's Gainwell. And Walker, just forget it. You can drop Walker. And then this is Ben Gastelum. 620. Thank you guys for Henderson over Wilson last week. Oh, well, you're welcome. Glad that Henderson paid off for you. I didn't say yes to Henderson 100% of the time, but again, this is why when you're choosing between 2 options that seem similar, who has that upside? Who has the potential for that big game? Who rips off those long runs? Who could give you a monster game? That's always who I'm going to prefer. And so that was it. Michael Marowitz, what's up? 111. Rico Hampton, Woody, Ted Wilson, Sutton, Igbuka. Could you drop one to pick up Tracy? I absolutely can drop Igbuka. or Tet, but I would drop Igbuka to get Tracy. Yeah. Also have likely a tight end. Okay, drop likely like a bad habit. Get Parkinson, of course. And if you can't, get Waller. So your one running back here this week, I actually like Hampton the best. One receiver is going to be Wilson, and your flex is going to be Sutton. And then let's go to a different Michael. Michael Magola, welcome back. Purdy or Dak this week? I'm going Purdy. Nothing wrong with Purdy at all. Dak is fine, but Purdy higher ceiling here. How about the Quantum Weirdo? What up? Carter, Estimate, or Algier? This one is easily Carter. Algier is just it's nothing these days. Estimate is a big maybe, but even if both Neal and Kamara don't play, give me Carter. You know he's still getting all the touches, and he's just better. Mark Bone, what's up, Mark? All right, and that's Superflex League. Got Hurts, BTJ, Devonta Smith, Bucky Pollard, Kittle, Corum, Higgins, and Bryce Young, along with KC. Okay, Dunze probably not playing. Mason, no. Corum, Mason, probably go Corum. So if Neal plays, I'll switch Neal in for Corum. Yeah, of course, Parkinson, you want to pick him up. You already have Kittle, so you know what? I actually think I could consider flexing Parkinson over Higgins. Could do that. And you know what? If nothing else here, Mark, let's do this. Let's pick up Parkinson so somebody else doesn't get him. So let's do that. I don't know who you have that you could drop. You know what? Let's drop. Oh, you have Ferguson. You're not going to start him. Okay, let's drop Ferguson for Parkinson. Let's drop. No, that's it. Let's drop Ferg for Parkinson, and we can put Parkinson in at flex, and we can put Neal if he plays. All right, there you go. And Alyssa also now, what tight end to start? It's Parkinson. Then what about Denalo 40? Like and subscribe. Thank you. All right. Newbie, but going to the championship against the toughest team. Well, whoever wins is going to be the toughest team now. So it could be you. He's got some good players. All right. But I'm sure you do too. So it's a 12-team, 14 playoffs, 2-week matchup. Oh, that makes it tough. But this also kind of evens out some of the luck, right? Week 16 lineup and waivers and questions below. Let's see where it is. Oh, by the way, Mark, let's see this. Needs upside and best lineup. Yeah, go for that. Go for that upside I mentioned. Still alive. No thanks to Waddle. All right, here's Denalo. 1 QB, 2, 1 flex. Goff or Brissett. Oof. As razor thin, I will just say this. Again, absolutely nothing wrong with Brissett. I do think Goff has a little more upside going against that Steelers defense. I'll go Goff, but that could go either way. Of course, you're starting Gibbs. Oh, man, this is tough at running back. We might flex one. In fact, I'm almost positive looking at receivers are going to flex one of these. So let's just say this. Receiver, you're going to go JSN, Devonta Smith. Running back, Gibbs, Bucky, flex Chase Brown. Fannin or Ferguson, give the edge to Fannin. And then, yes, let's do what I'm telling everyone else to do. Drop waivers, Parkinson. And Evans, please don't tell me Evans is also still on the waiver wire. Like, honestly. Okay. So, yes, drop Ferguson for Parkinson. And you can absolutely drop anyone for Evans. But in your case, you know what? Let's drop Manungai for Evans. And then now you're going to flex Evans. Okay. I mean, you got a good team too. Tribal. Do I start JJ McCarthy or Mariota? Can I just say no? You really don't have a better option? Needs wide receiver and running back. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure how deep, but maybe this is a super flex question. Like, really, you can't pick up. I mean, I guess you can't. Like, why else would you be asking this? I'm not going like CJ Stroud CJ Stroud, if he's out there, yeah, pick him up. I'm not going Phillip Rivers or Kenny Pickett or Cam Ward. So I guess if you really have to pick between the two, just go JJ McCarthy. And then priority. Okay, again, Pearsall probably not playing. Just scratch Pearsall off. I think the number one priority, and you're saying you need receiver and running back, not necessarily tight end. So I'll say DJ Moore, Michael Carter, and then Parkinson, then Coker, then Sills, then Mason and Medell. All right. Let's now go to. This is okay. Shot by JR Productions. We got a Dallas fan here. Do I pick up Parkinson to block my opponent? Yes. Or pick up Carter in case Harvey doesn't play? Well, if you are going to be out of luck at RB because Harvey sits, you need to pick up Carter. That's more important than blocking your opponent. Ideally, do both. But yeah, you should definitely pick up Carter if you need him. So prioritize your team first. Legend now needs 2 running backs, non-PPR. Jacobs is 1. Kyron is still the other. Man, still, I know it's an 8-teamer, but really, Swift is still on waivers? Like, I get Tracy being on waivers. That's understandable, but I'm surprised nobody has Swift. I don't know if I prefer Swift and Kyron this week, though. I think it's non-PPR. Touchdowns matter. I would still go Jacobs and Kyron. And actually what I would do is just because it's non-PPR, I would drop Marks to get Swift. And then we got a super chat from Josh Hale, 777. Thank you. We appreciate you. Buffalo or Saints? I'm going to say, I know you may not have been here at the very top of the show, but I've been saying this. If it's so Brady Cook for the Jets, you're going to go with the Saints defense. And if it's not, if it's Tyrod Taylor coming back, which is possible, then go Buffalo. Parkinson's your first choice. Goddard is second. Waller's third. And then the flex. Ooh, could we flex a tight end over Shakir? You know what? That's intriguing because Goddard has such a good matchup. And again, I hate to feel like or make it sound like we're chasing last week. Goddard scored twice. He could have scored a third time. But Goddard gets the Commanders this week. It's a really good matchup. And Shakir is just okay, and his matchup this week is just okay. So let's do it. You know what? Let's flex a tight end. So let's go Parkinson and Goddard. And then again, right now, I'll say Saints. There you go. All right. And then this, okay, Rose, Winky, Hurts or Brissett. Okay, again, nothing wrong with Brissett. Totally solid, totally safe. Good matchup this week. But you got to start Jalen Hurts because he actually even has a better matchup against Washington, just talked about. And you saw last week, he's fine, right? And was like, oh, what about Jalen Hurts? He's fine. He's fine. And then Mark with another one. Burrow or pick up a second QB streamer. The only one here. Well, you know what? I already said I can go Purdy over Burrow. I think Purdy's fine here. And of course, nothing wrong with Brissett too. But yeah, let's go Purdy. Why not? And then Benny Vang, 7049. Dak or Stafford. Both guys in tougher spots this week. I'm going to go Stafford between those two. I'll go Stafford. John Puentes, let's put this up. Went from 0-2 to 12-2. That's a run. Man, 12 straight. You're like a machine. Steamrolling through the playoffs. Purdy or Stafford, going Purdy. You got James Cook, Bijan Robinson. Okay, no wonder. Mike Evans, hopefully London. Hawkinson, really? We can do better than Hawkinson. All the guys we've been talking about all stream long. Pick up Colby Parkinson and put him over Hawk. Pick up Darren Waller if you can't get Parkinson. Even if you have to settle for like Dalton Schultz, still better than Hawkinson. Pearsall, RIP, get him off your squad to pick up another tight end. You don't even need to do that. Drop Hawkinson. Like, you really need a better tight end here, John, and then you'll be even better. And then you can drop Debo for a running back if you don't already have. Well, I mean, it's hard to say who's on waivers here, but yeah, and you're like, what if London doesn't play? Who else you got? Because Davante Adams is probably not going to play. Yeah, do some work on the waiver wire for a receiver. Let's just do this, John. Drop Hawkinson and get a tight end. Again, you know the order of preference. I already said. Drop Pearsall. You can drop Debo and pick up 2 new wide receivers. Guys I talked about the waiver wire video, of course, are still viable. You can look for them. You know, Luther Burden is a good option. You know, see who else is out there. Shelly, what's up, Shelly? Squeaked by and got the buy. Nice. One of those. Oh, no. Really? You have to play a week 18? Well, then you're definitely going to need our help in week 18 because who knows what's going to happen by then. Drop KC and roll with Denver defense the rest of the way. No, actually, I think prefer KC's defense this week. They get the Titans. And honestly, with Mahomes out, this is ironically, it could be a good thing for the defense because now we're going to see slower paced game. It might help the defense. So, yeah, I just think you roll with the Chiefs this week. Next week, you can go back to Denver. All right. Let's do, okay. Andrea Sobra is in the championship this week. Awesome. Wow. Okay, this is why. You have Jason, Amon, and Amon Roth. RBs are the issue. Okay. Pick 2 and 2 flexes. Bucky Evans, Pickens, Henry, Dowdle, Warren, Shakir. That's not a big issue. You got Derrick Henry and Bucky Irving. Those are your 2 running backs. Flex, definitely Evans. And you know what? I know I'm very skeptical on Pickens, but I still would take a chance on his upside a little bit over Rico Dowdle. So let's do that. So Bucky, Evans, Pickens, Henry, it's those first 4. So yeah, still good enough at running back. You're fine. All right, and then Andrew Janke. 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 receivers in the flex. All right, QB, Brissett, Nix, CJ. With that group, just go Brissett. 2 running backs, Kyron Hall, Bill Kamara. It's Kyron and Hall. Receiver, of course, Puka, and then Olave is your number 2. Your flex. I really don't want to flex one of those running backs. Godwin, Reed, very, very similar. I mean, based on the matchup, I think I would go Reed. There you go. Pretty straightforward. And then, let's see. Try to catch up. Who's next? Legend asking about Bowers or Fannin. It's got to be Fannin. But, of course, get Parkinson if you can. Rico Barajas, pick 2. Jennings, Michael Wilson, Evans, and London. Say it again. If Harrison is out, Michael Wilson's a must start. So go Wilson and Evans. Even if London's coming back, I think you'd have to put Michael Wilson over him. I mean, you have all really good options here. Doug Fenton, what's up, Doug? Needs help with 2 receivers in the flex. Have Rice, Pickens, Watson, Harrison, and Pearsall. Yeah, hurting and sucking together. Not a good combo. Can I pick up Coker, Parker, Donnie, Burden, or Wicks? Man, this is. I mean, sorry, Doug. This is brutal. You had stud receivers who all of a sudden just nosedived in value. Rice losing Mahomes and Pickens losing motivation, and Watson, losing his shoulder. So you can definitely drop Pearsall. It sounds pretty sure he's not playing this week, and even if he does, would you trust him? You shouldn't. I'll drop Pearsall to pick up Burden and hope he plays. And for what it's worth, I mean, if Watson is playing, I want to play him. I mean, Rice and Pickens, again, I have them much, much lower, but they're not unstartable. So you could roll them out there. I'm not going to put like Coker or Donnie Mitchell over George Pickens. So, I mean, just stick with them and hope they do okay. All right. And then let's see. Trying to get some different comments here. All right, let's do this one. Joker fan here. Colossal Payaso TV. Colossal Payaso. I got it. One win away from my third championship game appearance in 4 years and possible back-to-back ships. Nice. Parkinson or Waller? It's Parkinson. Yes, you definitely have to like Parkinson. Just do it. Do Parkinson. Look at the numbers. I mean, you don't really need convincing if you look at what he's done over the past several weeks. I'll keep saying it. I'll say it again. Maybe people weren't here in the very beginning of the show. 6 touchdowns in the last 6 weeks. He has scored every week except for the one against Carolina, ironically, when Carolina is one of the worst defenses to tight ends, but then he made up for it with 2 touchdowns last week. He's been scoring every week, but now the target share got bumped up to 7 last week, and now Devontae Adams is out. I mean, it's just too obvious here, which is why he'll probably be a trap. All right, Balake 321, Buffalo, KC, or Saints. Going to say it again. It's Saints first if they get Brady Cook. If not, you can go Buffalo. What's up, Andrea? All right, so possibly Coker or Jaden Higgins. Higgins does get the better matchup. I'm going to go with Higgins and hope he gets involved again. He really didn't do much last week, but it's the Raiders. Let's take a shot on the upside here. All right, and then let's see. Trying to make sure I get somebody new. Oh, nice. John. All right, John, you're in a 12-man league. That's good to know. Yeah, competitive. Not sure who that's supposed to be. All right, how about Julio says he dropped Watson to activate Evans. Ouch. Is he coming back? I mean, you never know with Watson. It didn't sound like it's serious, but who knows? Yeah, I would have dropped Igbuka instead of Watson. So see if you can switch that up again. All right, and then this is Starman, the Cosmic Mermaid, and Starman. Welcome back. Swift, Kyron, or Kamara? It's definitely not Kamara. I know that he could come back and could get the Jets. It's just a lot of trust issue here, whether he's healthy enough. I think that as good as Swift looked and as tough as the matchup is, if it's my team, I'm still sticking Kyron in there. The touchdown upside is always present. He's still going to get enough touches here. So it's close between those first two, but I think I would go Kyron. And then, interesting one, 508 Saint, Aaron Jones or Marion Hampton. I know Jones gets the Cowboys, but again, this is a defense that's better against, well, he's going to say better, but Worse against the pass than the run. Aaron Jones still splits carries. I know Marion Hampton somewhat does. I mean, that Aaron Jones did get the Cowboys, and Marion Hampton does get the Cowboys. So, I mean, these guys are very similar in terms of their situation. I'm going to prefer Hampton. I know that Vikings get the great matchup against the Giants, but I don't know. I just feel like Hampton has more potential to score. So that's tough. I'm also playing Nico and Sutton and Wilson. Who should I flex? Well, you're saying, well, I don't get it. What are your options? You say you're playing Nico and Sutton and Wilson? Or you're playing Nico and Sutton and then Wilson's a flex option? I mean, I want to start those three receivers over the running backs. So, all right. How about the bearded one? What's up? Put my meager attempt at a beard to shame, that's for sure. Start this lineup off by Stafford, Gibbs, Swift, Evans, Olave, Goddard, Judkins, Reed. On the benches, Lamar, Tracy, Pitts, Adams, Pickens. All right, I see what you asked. This is a tricky one. So you probably gonna be without Adams, which kind of sucks. I mean, Gibbs, yes, no matter what. Swift, yeah, I would start Swift here with this group that you have. Evans for sure, yeah, Olave for sure. Goddard, Pitts is where it gets tough because, I mean, how can you sit Pitts after last week, but how can you sit Goddard after last week? But Goddard gets the better matchup, so I do think you've got that right because, London may come back, and even if he doesn't, I think I'm fine with Goddard here. It's the flexes. I think the only question I have. Look, I'll go Lamar over Stafford this week. Let's start with that. I'm going to go Lamar over Stafford, more upside based on matchup. I think I still got to put Pickens over Reed. I think I still need to do that. AC Judkins is my dilemma. Judkins has been really rough the last couple of weeks. The whole Browns offense has been rough. The running game here. The Bills, it's actually a good matchup for a running back. So he's not unstartable. I'm not out on Judkins. Tracy, just looked better. He just looked better. So I might just go Tracy over Judkins. All right. Okay, well, how about this? That's a good question. The Spaniard. So is Jacoby Myers a better start than Pickens? He would be if it weren't for the matchup, if it weren't for the fact he gets the Broncos and could see a lot of Pat Surtain. So this week, I have to say no. I have to barely keep Pickens above Myers, and that one is tough for me, but I think still Pickens makes more sense. Chris Moraga wants to rank these waiver wire running backs. Carter's definitely first. I'm going to put Estimate second. Again, it's hard to say. We have no idea what the health status is of these guys. I will say Jordan is probably last because they did sign Jawar Jordan to the active roster off the practice squad, because why wouldn't they after last week? But Woody Marks seems like he's fine. He's probably going to play. And if that's the case, Jordan isn't really startable, so why pick him up? And I'll put McLaughlin last. Do not trust. Well, even if Harvey's out, I'm not trusting Sean Payton in that backfield without him. So Carter is easily, by far, the first choice here. And I guess as things stand right now, not knowing the health status of Neal and Kamara and all that, I guess I would put Estime second. But he could fall to last on this list. Who knows? James Wentworth, why is Hurts ranked higher than Allen this week? I have no idea. I mean, at Cleveland isn't a great spot, but it's Josh Allen. I'm not that worried about him. I mean, Hurts has clearly a better matchup, but I still prefer Allen to Hurts. Alyssa wants to rank these quarterbacks: Stroud, Mayfield, Williams, Lawrence. I'm going to go Stroud first. I got Williams last. I know that. Stroud first, Williams last. That's easy. T-Law Mayfield is close. I know it's a brutal matchup for T-Law. I wonder if I would still go him over Mayfield. I think I might, just because they could put up some numbers here. Let's go Stroud, Lawrence, Mayfield, Williams. All right, and then, okay, rank these RBs. Alyssa wants no Gainwell, Tracy, Carter, Harvey. Assuming they're all healthy and playing, it's Harvey first. It's Tracy second, it's Gainwell, and then it's Carter. Louis Trejo, 13. Pick 3, Evans, Igbuka, McLaurin, Wilson, Drake. Okay, again, assuming they all play. Evans is 1, Drake is 2, and Wilson is 3. Because of matchup, McLaurin is 4. And Igbuka is a distant 5. All right, let's see who's next here. Admiral Habibi, welcome back. With all injuries, who should I start for running back and wide receiver? Myers, Pickens, Rice, Pierce, Irving, Corum, Henry, Monangai, Monty. Don't know how many you need, but let's just say for running back, you go Henry and Irving still. Wide receiver, again, not feeling as great about it as you did before, but it's still Pickens and Rice with this group. All right, and then let's see. Juice. Would you play A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Amon-Ra this week? Yeah, why not? My other receivers are, maybe that's why not. Okay, definitely not a Dunze. I mean, there's obviously Amon-Ra is no question. I think I can put Michael Wilson in over Devonta Smith. I feel like this could be a big Devonta Smith week, obviously against Washington. But again, if Harrison's out, Wilson's going to get so many targets, you got to keep him in there. So if that's the case, they'll go Wilson over Smith. I'll keep AJB in there, even over Jennings. Arav Aji, drop 1 for Evans. Monangai, Warren, or Devonta? It's not Devonta. I think I'll drop Warren. Just drop Warren at this point. He and Monangai are pretty similar, honestly, but let's drop Warren. Juice also, would you play Etienne against Denver if you got Swift, Judkins, and C-Rod? Etienne and Swift is close. Again, Etienne is not in a good spot, but he's definitely still playable, especially remember Tuden is out. I mean, he's out like for the season. They're going to need Etienne. He still has plenty of upside. Swift is a tough one. Again, they've been running really well. He was okay against the Packers last time. I could have him low end solid. Etienne, I think, has more upside. That's where I would go. I think I'd go Etienne. That one is close. And then we have Heisenberg. Is that you? Beatles man. Mayor Hurts. I'm going to go Hurts for sure. And then Shakir or Hunt. It's PPR. It's Shakir. Ray Munoz, Pollard, Vidal, or Carter. It's definitely not Vidal. Carter is interesting because of the touches, but Pollard, the way he's been running. Let's go Pollard and see if he can keep it going. Let's go Pollard. OG Snow, worth dropping a book for Evans? Absolutely. Like, easily. Got to do that. I am flabbergasted that there are still leagues where Mike Evans is on waivers. Like, I'm not sure how that happened. Pick him up. Okay, what else here? All right. Shawnee Boom got 220 points in round 1. Nice. So in round 2, which defense is going to get you more points? Chargers, Jags, Bills, or Saints? Well, it's the Saints if Brady Cook is the quarterback. I think that's the move here. You can't start the Chargers this week. don't want to start the Jaguars, but you do want the Jaguars next week if there is another round. I'm not sure. So let's go Saints. If it's Brady Cook at quarterback, let's go Bills otherwise. Toki 8, is it Parkinson or Warren? It is Parkinson easily. Not going to answer kicker questions. Sorry, Michael. Same question. St. Vincent. Carter and Corum. I think you got to go Carter. Just more guaranteed opportunities. He's going to get all the carries with Bam Knight out. And he gets work as a receiver. Had 4 catches last week. Just more touches. That's it. That's the biggest predictor, single biggest predictor of fantasy points for running back is touches, right? Opportunities, you should say. Targets plus carries. You got to touch the ball. And he'll do it. And he's not in a bad matchup. Corum isn't a tough matchup on the road against Seattle. So, look, if you can plug Michael Carter in at RB2, that's actually not too bad a choice. Cody wants to know, we're dropping Chuba for the Texan behind Woody, Jawar Jordan. No, just because it sounds like Woody's probably going to play. So you just don't need to pick up Jawar Jordan unless we get bad injury news, some sort of update this week about Woody Marks. But it sounds like he'll be fine. I mean, they were saying he could have come back into play last week. All right, what else do we have here? Let's try something different. Okay, this is interesting. The Millennial. Is Knox worth picking up if Parkinson is gone? Well, he's not going to be your worst option, but I don't think he's your best. I don't know who else would be out there on waivers for you. I do feel like, again, last week, the 2 touchdowns, you don't want to chase touchdowns. They come and go, and it's not a good matchup this week. So he's not like, he is streamable, but he's definitely not the tight end I would choose. Hard to say who else you could get. I'm trying to think if there's a waiver wire tight end out there that I mean, Aronde Gadsden, I would, if he's still there, I would prefer him. Maybe Theo Johnson. I'm assuming Darren Waller is not an option. So, all right, what about Cooper? Pollard, Carter, Warren, Jaden Reed? Question mark. Okay, I'm trying to think what the question is. Like, are we just picking one? If I'd have to pick one of those to start this week, probably it's either Pollard or Carter, and that's pretty close. Like I said, they're both getting the vast majority of the touches here. I kind of feel like Carter is slightly safer pick. So, Pollard has been really good the last couple of weeks. I might just go. No, I think you got to go Pollard. Yeah, I think we have Pollard higher. All right, Pollard, and then Carter just behind him. Warren versus Waller at tight end. It's Waller. And we saw Warren has no value, basically hardly any value with Phillip Rivers. It's going to be Phillip Rivers again. Armand wants to know who to drop for Evans, Wandale, BTJ, Kelsey, Waller, Mayfield, Walker, or Kelsey. You can drop Walker. Drop Kenneth Walker. Renee, hello. How's it going? Needs tight end, Schultz, Johnson, Strange, Kincaid. Between those options this week, Strange is not giving you enough lately, and not this week, no way. Johnson has settled in to be just a floor. Just not seeing enough out of him. Even a good spot, he didn't come through. Schultz seems like the most obvious one. Kincaid could be the best. So I'll say probably Schultz is your first choice. Kincaid would be your next choice. 2 flexes. Watson's for sure 1. Ooh. I guess in this group, Reed would be the second one. Hopefully Watson plays. No, I don't think I would flex one of those tight ends. Nah. Golf, NFTS, 2607, half PPR flex. Flex. We need 2 flexes here. Myers, Dowdle, Ted, Diggs, Bowers. Should I drop Bowers for? Yeah. Well, I hate to drop Bowers, but give me Parkinson or Pitts over him, honestly. So yeah, I guess so. Pick up DJ Moore for Diggs or Ted. Yeah. We can't wait till next week, the week after. Who cares? Do it. Pick up DJ Moore for Diggs. Let's do it. So for your tight end / receiver, yeah, if you get Parkinson, I'll go Parkinson. And then for the second one, I think I'll go Rico. Now, if both Burden and Romo Dunze are out because of injury, you go DJ Moore. You definitely start DJ Moore. Christian Wall, do I start Shuck, CJ Stroud, or Aaron Rodgers? Oh, man. Look, Shuck, that's actually not the worst option these days, but I'm going to go CJ Stroud. Against the Raiders, it's way too good of a spot. Stroud, it is. What's up? Thank you. Appreciate it. Derek Wells Spiegel just jumping on here. Give the thumbs up. Yeah, appreciate that. Catching up on questions. Not too far behind. So before we get out of here, just don't forget, give us a like. We appreciate it. And anybody who's new here, subscribe. Subscribe now. Definitely helps us out. This is an easy one. Fulton Webster, AD Mitchell or Pearsall. It does not sound like Pearsall will be playing. And even if he does, don't risk it. Go with AD Mitchell if those are your choices. And then this is O-Class, OK Las 8. Full PPR, Rico, Harvey, or Neal. Well, if Harvey plays, it's Harvey. If he doesn't play, it's Neal. If neither of them play, which is very possible, then it's Rico. And then flex JMO or Higgins. If that's T Higgins, then it's T Higgins. And if he doesn't play, which is possible, then it's JMO. And then another one, tight end, Waller, Fannin, or Kincaid. Ooh, that's actually a tough one. Because, again, it's like, it seems very obvious that it's Waller because he gets the Bengals, and he just had a monster game. But the monster game was all pure garbage time. And the Dolphins now may switch quarterback, which I think would be enough, honestly, if it's Ewers or Zach Wilson. That would be enough just to move me off of Waller completely. So right now, I'll say Waller if it's still Tua, and if it's not, I'm going Fannin. Guaranteed targets. Ricardo Costa. Herbert or Dart? I'm going to go Herbert slightly for upside. That one is interesting. It's close. Dart has settled in as a nice kind of safe play. He gets some rushing yards. He'll pass enough. But Herbert has that big upside this week because of the Cowboys. So this week, I'll go Herbert. Last week, the answer was Dart. This week, the answer is Herbert. Same thing, Mr. Crawley. Herbert or Lawrence? I mean, you can't ignore that matchup. But Lawrence against Denver on the road. Let's go Herbert against the Cowboys. Back to Fulton Webster. Okay, needs a flex play here between Pearsall, Monangai, Hubbard, Mitchell, Booty, Jalen McMillan, and Blake Corum. Please help. I shouldn't be in the semis. Maybe not if those are your flex options, but you're in it, and that's all that matters. You could win. Okay. Again, Pearsall's probably not going to play, and I don't care if he does. Booty, you can't trust him. McMillan just not involved enough. Hubbard wasn't really involved last week. It's Monangai, you hope for a touchdown. It's Corum, you kind of hope for a big play or a touchdown. Or it's AD Mitchell, and you hope that he comes through. But he kind of did come through, and he doesn't have a bad matchup. So if it's PPR, I'm going AD Mitchell. Just take a chance. I mean, all these guys are risky, obviously. All right, too far. Mark Sentien, JJ McCarthy, and Lamar Jackson. This just feels disrespectful. It's Lamar Jackson. I mean, come on. And then let's go to we got a couple more left. Let's see. Let's help Carlos here. Carlos Hasso Huerta needs to replace Mahomes. Okay, you got good options. Brissett, Nixon, Mayfield. Let's just go Brissett. Fire him up. You know what? He's going to be better than Mahomes has been, really. Go Brissett. All right, let's go to roll cats. You got Stafford. Is it risky to pick up and start Parkinson? It would be risky not to. It's smart to pick up Parkinson. You want that stack. So yes, definitely pick up Parkinson. AJ Jones, Ted McMillan, or Lad McConkey. Got to go Lad this week. I know he's done a lot of nothing over the past month, but it's the Cowboys. And really, what has Ted done over the past month? He's caught a couple of touchdowns, but Lad could score a touchdown here. Let's go to the upside of Lad. Let's see. Ooh, that's a tough one. Daniel Pierce. Let's try that one. That's tough. Jade Reed, Jacoby Myers. It should be Jacoby Myers, but again, the matchup, you got to be concerned. He should still get you some sort of a floor. Like, don't think he's going to get completely shut out. Jaden Reed is not a floor guy, right? He gets a couple of passes, his thrown his way. He's going to get maybe a couple of carries, but it's a good matchup here. I'm going to say, especially if Watson isn't 100%, I'm going to go Jaden Reed. Only this week. Only this week. All right, and then let's see. Cody, I think, all right, well, I know I answered Parkinson a lot. But Fannin, I get it. It's close. Let's go Parkinson here. Wilson, let's know Sutton or Evans. It's definitely Evans. The Millennial, dropped Judkins for Stroud? No. Don't drop Judkins. I know he's not an auto start this week, but you don't need to drop him. If you have Goff, you don't need Stroud. Goff is totally fine this week. So don't do that. Another user needs to replace Mahomes. Super flex. That hurts. Jamie, Sacco, Cousins, Minshew, or Shuck. If it's Shuck, I'm going to go Tyler Shuck. He has been solid. He's fine. I'm surprised he's available, even him or even Cousins. In super flex, all the starting quarterbacks are usually gone. So let's go Shuck. And yes, thank you. Let's do this. Thank you, Renee. Smash the like button. Exactly. Getting free advice. Why not subscribe? Like and subscribe. I do, only because you asked. What does it say? You can't see the whole thing, I guess. There is, back in my day, they still exist, a rock band called Rage Against the Machine, which is the greatest rock band that has ever existed. So if you're like your music angry, or if you just like politically motivated music, or just great music in general, Rage Against the Machine. I was lucky enough to see them in concert back after their second album had just come out. Good old days. Real quick, DV 1382, Darnold, Knicks, or spend fab on Purdy or Stroud. You could drop Darnold. I mean, look, it's not a great matchup for Knicks, but I will say this, man, Micah Parsons being out, that's a huge blow for the Packers, which has been a really good defense, but not an elite defense. And they honestly, in terms of sacks, they're, if I recall, even just below the league average, and most of them were Parsons. So I think Knicks is actually fine this week if you don't want to spend your fab. Now, again, it's week 16. Like, what are you saving your fab for? But if you want to throw a couple of bucks, again, a couple, like 2 or 3, whatever it takes, to snatch Purdy, like, that's fine, unless it's your last $2. Like, if you want to spend a buck or two to get Purdy, I could put him over Knicks. But if not, like, Knicks is actually going to be okay this week. You can drop Darnold. You can drop Darnold for whatever. Like, just drop Darnold and, stash somebody, handcuff or something. Juice, how we feeling about King Henry? Kind of how we felt the last several weeks. Fine. Didn't smash completely against the Bengals, but then again, he didn't get a ton of carries, but he didn't need to. Don't think he'll smash against the Patriots, who have been not quite as good against the run lately, but still not a great matchup. So he's kind of just like a set as your RB2, and don't worry, he's fine. Kind of like the Javonte. High-end RB2 / low-end RB1. It depends how deep your league is. So Yeah, ride or die with King Henry. Look, there are many, many other worse players to ride or die with than King Henry. So if I have Henry, I'm not worried about that. What is up, Johnny Donuts? There are many choices this week. I get it. Burrow, Darnold, McCarthy, Bryce. If those are your choices, you go Burrow and you don't sweat it. Ranking Waddle, Sutton, Wilson, Evans, London, Judkins, Jacobs, Warren, Henry. Okay. Evans would be, well, no. Is that Josh Jacobs? And we're ranking all of them? Okay, Jacobs is 1. Evans is 2. Henry is, what is that? Michael Wilson? Okay, maybe Michael Wilson is 3. Henry is 4. Sutton is 5. I think I said London already, right? And then Judkins, and then Waddle, and then Warren. I think I got them all. Hope I got them all. What's up, Arthur? How's it going? All right. And then let's get to Joe Coons, Brissett or May. I think I had a long discussion with myself about this earlier. These guys are so close in so many ways. Slight edge to May just because he could run in a touchdown. Very similar, though. And then it's a fair question. The Red Hoods, Coker or AD? I'm going to go AD. Coker got his touchdown last week, so did AD. But target share, offense that passes and will need to pass more. I'm going to give the edge to AD. Goff or Brissett? Again, I give the slight edge to Goff here, 392 JMA. Just think that it's, again, slightly higher ceiling for him based on how much they might need to pass the game script here. So there it is. Thank you, Michael. All right, let's see. There you go. Okay, I'll just put that. I lost in both leagues. That's unfortunate. But see, you still tune in. Appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate all of you. And we still got content coming out every single day. Not going to change. And even after the season's over, we're still going to put out content every week. Maybe not every single day, but every week for sure. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. Yeah, it really costs nothing. So thank you, everybody. Helps us out. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that. And of course, if you have, then still hit thumbs up on the way out. Appreciate you. We're going to be back again live tomorrow. And we're going to help you set lineups. Hopefully you can keep rolling semis, finals, wherever you're at in your fantasy playoffs. You want to win. You know what? Even if you're in the consolation bracket, whatever it is, just bragging rights for 5th place to beat your league mate who's your coworker. It doesn't matter. You still like to win. And you know what? It's football. Let's talk football, hang out. So let's see you tomorrow. And don't forget to check out all the videos that are coming up.